So, hi guys, welcome to the first weekend analysis video. Here we will be talking about gold today again. We'll be talking about what happened in the last week. We will be talking about what you can expect for the next week as well. So, let's get right into it. Let's go to the weekly chart first and understand what's happening in the market, okay? So, the market was in an uptrend in a weekly time frame. It still is in an uptrend. This uh, this pullback was a good weekly demand pullback from the market. One second. This was a good weekly demand, and the market bounced off of it. Now, what happened this week? First, let's understand what happened this week. We'll go to the 4-hour time frame to understand that. So, the market was in a good uptrend, in H4, the market was in a very good uptrend. Okay, you can clearly see that. But then it became sideways over here, and now it's in a downtrend, like like that. It's in a downtrend now. But it did break an internal structure over here. So we could also expect the market this week for it to break this high and form a higher high. And if it forms a higher high, it is then bound to go to these highs. Then, these are really good levels of resistance. These highs are very important. You could also like do this. These are very good levels of resistance. So that could happen. But now this low again came off of a really good demand. There was a demand here, and then the market went up from here. All right. Now, the market was in a good downtrend. It tapped this important level. It broke internal structure, gave a good pullback, broke the previous high as well. It did break this high in H4. So that is again a good sign for the market to be bullish for the next week as well. I really think that for the next week the market could go over here. Now again back to this week, H1 again. Okay, over here when the market was struggling to break out of the structure, or it was sideways for a while, this whole thing was a range. Okay, and then the market internally started breaking range in H1. You could look at this was the range being broke. All right, this happened, and then it continued here as well, right? And right here, this was a good trade for us. But we captured over here because this is where we started our live. All right, we captured our live trade over here, and yeah, this was a good trade. Now the trade breakdown, I think I've given enough of that. But again, this was another good trade. This was another good trade, but I couldn't take this on live. But this is what happened. All right, guys. The market tapped the H4 level, okay, and then it broke the internal structure over here. Lower time frame structure was broken over here. This could have again been a really good trade. This something like let's say something like this. This would have been an amazing trade, keeping this in mind, and you could have really gone for these highs. It would have been a crazy good trade, but it's okay. And then That is exactly by some logic how we traded this and then how we traded this. I told I told you guys on the live stream on Friday that the market will break this high and will also get here. It didn't totally get here, but it was very close. So we'll take that. Now, this is what again I think this is again a good zone. This is again a good demand. I'm sorry if I like said supply earlier, but this is a good demand. And the market, I really think for the next week will probably break these highs, or the market will probably break this high, or at least for the next week it should give a good upper momentum and like at least get over here. 4,800 is something I wanted to go around, but yeah, this high is again very likely to be broke if the market continues breaking internal structure. Right now it's looking very much like it will, but 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 I really think that it would break it in the coming week. Now, this is a very big zone. It's a massive zone. So I wouldn't count on this very exact trade if it was a trade, but I really wouldn't mind for it to come over here. So that is my expectations for the next week. That if gold bounces from here and then if it continues breaking this structure again, which should be happening, it is then bound to go for higher highs, you know, higher highs and expected to break or at least come close to these highs or at least break these highs. That is what my expectations are from gold this week in particular. So I hope you enjoyed the video and I really hope that you guys like the video. If you want some changes or if there is any feedback, do drop it in the comment section. I'm fairly new to streaming and everything, but I promise you that I'll provide you with great value. So thank you again. Thank you for everything. Goodbye.